Yes, sir.
Howdy, partner.
Howdy doody, buddy. Looking sharp. I like the fit. I like the bolo tie, baby. I like the way
It
you're
is
bringing it tonight, Parker.
it is the awards banquet, so we did have to dress for the occasion.
I promised the people it'd be our most handsome episode yet, man, and I like to deliver on my promises. You didn't let me down, brother.
Try not to.
I broke out the special knot, my old car salesman knot. That's a relic from a life gone by, man. But that'll close the deal right there. I'll tell you what.
Making deals, got to get that money.
Oh boy, and I don't know how many F-150s that bad boy sold me back in my day, but it was quite a few, man. America's best-selling pickup truck
by America's best-selling salesman just
That's
because
right.
of the knot.
That's right. Well, how are you, man?
Good. I had a pretty busy weekend. I'm still trying to recover from that. We got all of the race cars winterized and put away for the winter. Besides the Trans Am, we'll be taking that one to Thanksgiving, and then we celebrated my family's Thanksgiving on Sunday. So busy day there. Stuff still. I can't even think about food because that's how much I ate, and I don't know, just ready for another week.
Yeah, man, you got an early start. We're not really a turkey family around here, so I'm gonna be shopping for some ribeyes and some salmon. I think tomorrow night, and we'll do something like that. It's usually a pretty tight knit group, just the five of us now, with the youngest on board. But it's always nice to just have a really intentional, dinner like that. We eat dinner pretty much together every night, but it's always a little different on Thanksgiving and a lot more intentional. And we do the around the table. What are you thankful for? And that's always fun to listen to the girls and how their perspective and what they're thankful for has evolved over the years. And it'll be a fun night. And then this weekend, man, in proper tradition, we'll do the Black Friday mall cruising. And we don't buy a lot, but we like to go and like just feel the vibe on Black Friday. I love me some Christmas, and so does my family. And then we'll get our tree. We'll go get our real Christmas tree on Saturday, get it decorated, and that's the final piece of the puzzle around here, man. We got the village up, we got the lights outside. We're all ready to go, except the big tree. So almost there, man.
I need you to come fix my Christmas lights. They're up, but they ain't staying on. So
Hey, I consult. Matty Keelman sent me some pictures the other day. He finally was putting him up. It's a job he hates, and I saw a bulb far away in the back. It was crooked. I had to zoom in on it for him and then let him know I seen that and that he needed to fix it. So I consult, man. We can work out a deal.
I may need your interest in professional opinion.
Yeah, man, it's a family tree thing. We've been doing Christmas big in my family for a long time, so always happy to talk Christmas. And dude, I'm so pumped for tonight. I actually came off the Woodburn Banquet. There we are. We got Walker Texas Ranger in the house. That's right.
You must be Trevette.
I was coming off the Woodburn Banquet this weekend up in Wilsonville. Got to sit with my daddy, Steve Kelly, and enjoy that, celebrating the success of a lot of fellow racers. And man, they did a really good job of doing some backstory and research and here, telling the story, kind of the extended story of a couple racers. And it was just a lot of fun, man, hanging out, kind of unwinding and putting a bow on what was a pretty awesome year for a lot of folks. So it's got me pumped up and ready for tonight, man. We're going to celebrate the success of a lot of folks across D6 and D7 tonight.
Heck yeah. Why don't we jump into it?
Let's do it. And shout out to anybody who dropped me a text, shot me a message, or chimed in on the Facebook, getting interactive. This is what this is all about, right? Telling the stories and giving the flowers to people out here on the West Coast. So appreciate everybody who chimed in and, made your nominations. And we're going to get right into it.
Let's do it. You want to start with Super Street?
Let's go. Super Street it is, man. To the lanes.
And they're usually first out in Division 7 anyway. So what proper way to start this thing?
Same here, man. Perfect place to start. Let her rip.
All right. The nominees for Super Street. Dustin Ward. And Dustin's been doing this From Division 6. I didn't think he wanted to compete with his wife anymore, so he opted to go D7 racing. He's our first nominee. Alan Taylor finished number 5 in his first full year of Super Street action. He's let his kids drive, and this year he got the opportunity to race a full season. And then our winner of the first annual Super Street MVP of the year, JB Brown, back-to-back Division 7 champ, doubled up in Bakersfield, and this is a record for JB because he did it all in the same car.
Man, well deserved. We've been talking about JB since the inaugural episode, and some stiff competition, right? Some tough folks down there. We were in a way kind of sad to see Dustin start flying the number 7. If you're a super street racer in D6, it's a good thing because he's not going to win the championship this year. But a lot of battling going on in D7, and JB certainly a deserving MVP for D7. D6. Few different nominees. David Monsas on the list. He was our JAGS All-Star representative, and so he'll get a nod there. Brian McGinnis, he only had 6 events and wound up 3rd, so really strong performance from Brian. Josh Dalrymple finished the season in 7th, but he only raced 4 times, and he had the highest per race average. Had he put together a full season, he would have gave our winner a run for his money, but that's going to be Alan Macham. Alan, he's, anybody who's been around on the West Coast racing knows Alan's in it. He's mixed up in all the stuff. And he had himself a heck of a season this year, got on the grind, got a win at the Woodburn Divisional, and claimed the divisional title. It was enough to get him up in the lead and put him on top. And, he grounded out all year this year. So Alan Macham, your 2025 D6 Super Street MVP. But another, stout field of folks, and any one of those 4 certainly deserving. But Alan Macham's who I'm rolling with.
Is that a Pro Mod Allen?
That's Pro Mod Allen.
Pro Mod Allen went pretty deep at that Streetcar Super Nationals down in Vegas this last weekend. So once again, congrats, Allen, on your MVP. Moving right along. How about we jump into some Super Comp action?
I'm ready, baby.
My nominees and some of the nominees that were voted in by our D7 crowd. Cody Stevenson, he stood out to me. He got his first win in Phoenix at the beginning of the year, and man, that kid just murders the tree. He never misses. Most of the time when he loses, it's because he's 00 red. It's pretty impressive how well that kid can hit the tree as well as see the finish line. He's going to be one to watch out for here in the next couple seasons and for the future. Gabe Torres finished number 6 in the world. Gave it a pretty good run there this year. Finished 2nd in the division, and the only guy who had a better year than Gabe in the division was Chad Weber. Man, heck of a year. He got 3 wins this year, and a runner-up in Bakersfield. He won the world championship, division championship. It's hard to compete with something like that, and it's pretty obvious who our MVP is for Super Comp. Congrats, Chad Weber.
Quite the year, man. It was fun to watch all the way down to the final run, and nobody did it better than him this year in D7, that's for sure. So congrats to him. D6, it was a little bit of a tough trail for D6 on the national side this year, but some really strong battles within the division. Emmett McKillop showing up on the nominee list. Dylan Howe, what can you say about Dylan Howe? He could race anything you put him in, I think, and he's always tough out there. Cooper Chun in the mixed. He was our highest ranked on the national side at 14th. Not the run, I don't think, certainly for Dylan or Cooper that they were hoping for this year, but still had strong runs down the line. And Dylan wound up in a tie for the D6 championship with Tori Lee. They were tied at 320, but Tori did it with 1 less race, and he was dominant at the Woodburn Divisional. So for me, your 2025 MVP and 2025 Division 6 champion in Super Comp, Tori Lee, going to get the nod for a strong, strong performance down the stretch, eking it out at the end with the tiebreaker over Dylan Howe. But what impressed me most, and what was my call there, was he was able to get that number of points with one less event. So strong, strong run for Tori Lee. Congratulations, good sir. You're my MVP in D6.
Congrats, Tori. You want to jump into some super gas action?
I do, but before we get too deep, I wanted to start off with something, and I'm going to interject it right here. For every person we talk about tonight, there's 5 people that we're not going to talk about and probably should. And it's not a reflection of their performance or how much they deserve to be talked about. It's really just a function of we probably didn't hear the story. We just didn't know. And I think that really gets at why we wanted to do this show, right? To shine some light on the West Coast, to give people their flowers across the landscape where maybe they don't normally get it when they should. So I just want to encourage everyone, man, tell the story, tell your story, tell the stories of your fellow racers, of your friends, the people you see out there. There's lots of people that score points every year, and there's a winner every year, but the stories are what endure, not where you finished in the points. And so to anybody who doesn't get a nod here or a mention tonight, it's probably just because we didn't know. And so next time, make sure we know, make sure people know, tell those stories so we can get them out there and that they're out there for good. So,
and if you don't want to tell the story, tell us so we can tell the story.
And we'll tell your story. Yeah. Put our spin on it. But yeah, let's go into Super Gas, man. I'll kick things off with D6.
Okay.
Ken Hurd, that guy's always going to be towards the top of the list out here on the West Coast when it comes to Super Gas. Greg Hare, Brian Pressler, Randy McCool. Randy McCool's got the coolest vehicle in Super Gas. I don't know if you've ever seen his old red pickup truck. It's one of the coolest rides in the business. He got a win out there in Montana.
But for me, the coolest last name.
Yeah, he's cool, man. And his wife Loretta, good racing, good couple racers, and we love seeing him up here on the Northwest. But for me, it was Nate Huber. Nate's been grinding away in that S10 pickup, and this year he put it together back-to-back at the Woodburn and Seattle divisionals. I was in the booth at the Woodburn double divisional calling the race with Alan Reinhart this year. Nate's daughter would come up in the tower every time Nate would run, and we'd let her call the lap, and she loved it so much. The one lap she wasn't allowed to call was the final round, right? A lot of folks, when Alan Reinhart's on the mic and they're in the final round, they want Alan Reinhart on the call. So he didn't let her do that one. And you could see just a little bit of disappointment maybe at that. It all evaporated 10 seconds later when Nate Huber turned on that final win light. I've never seen somebody so happy as I saw Nate's daughter when he won that race. And it was cool to see him finally get it done. And then, he turned right around and did it again in Seattle. So Nate Huber, you are the 2025 D6 Super Gas MVP.
Way to go, Nate. This class for me was a bit of a struggle. We had some great competition in Super Gas this year. In the division points, Mike Boehner finished number 3. He had a pretty good start to the season. Didn't quite get to finish it up, but he had a pretty good run going. And the two that I'm really struggling to choose between, the comments are going to have to choose this one. Val Torres finished number 2 in Division 7 and number 2 in the world. He had 2 wins this year. That's a pretty good way to defend your world title. Came up just a little bit short in Pomona. And the other one is Evan Kowalski. He's our D7 champ. He had 2 wins, lots of deep runs, and he finished 5th in the world. So not quite sure who to give the nod on this one. Like I said, between Val Torres and Evan Kowalski, we'll let the comments decide. We'll scroll back to that one to name the MVP of Division 7 on that.
All right. I like it. I kind of like it. I think you're a little scared, but it's all right. I like it. I like the crowdsourcing. I'll let it slide on there while they're fighting it out on that. Where do you want to go next?
How about some top dragster action?
Let's go to top dragster. Kick us off with D7.
All right. I got Wyatt Wayman coming in the top three here. He finished number two in the division. And I feel like this is um, Wyatt's first year ever chasing points in Division 7. He does a lot of bracket racing. He races a lot in Boise. He's from northern Utah, so Boise's pretty close for him. But a heck of a year for Wyatt. He won in Phoenix down there. And then I got a little bit confused. Mo Trujillo, I wrote him down. I think he chased Division 6 points this year, but he did not show up on my division points. But I'm going to give him a shout out unless you're going to talk about him.
I'm not. No, I'm not.
All right, Mo
But Mo
Trujillo.
deserves getting shout outs. Mo's always out there in the ether, man, chiming in on things. Mo deserves a shout out for sure.
Mo had a pretty good national event record this year. He had a runner up in Seattle, he had a runner up in Vegas, and he had a semi in Pomona, all on the national event level. He finished 17th in the world. Pretty good run for Mo there. And then rounding out our MVP of top dragster in Division 7, we got Andy Spiegel. Finished number 11th in the world, doubled up in Bakersfield, and he is your 2025 Division 7 top dragster champion.
Congratulations to him. I can dig that pick for sure. That was somebody who down the stretch had a chance at the world, and strong performance from him. D6, Jenna Mishad. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I've never met Jenna, but we're going to call it Mishad. The one thing that she was this year was efficient. She finished second in the division, about 75 points back from Casey. She raced 3 less events. She had a heck of a run on the divisional trail. I don't think she had a single claim. 51 was her smallest claim, and it was all uphill from there. A couple 62s and some in the 70s and 80s. Jenna just had a really strong and efficient run this year in top dragster. Ty Gaynor also getting a nomination for me. Him and Dylan were kind of right there for me. I give Ty the nod because Ty got 2 wins. He put 2 wins on the board this year. So in his rookie season, so strong performance for Ty. But the MVP in top dragster in Division 6, it's hard to go anywhere else than your current world champ, Casey Plager. He got 2 wins on the divisional trail. He had no claims below 62 points. So, he was swinging for the fences every time. He was tough at every race and putting big points on the board. So many that he had a chance to lock it up in Pomona for the world championship, and he did just that. So we're all really proud of Casey and that team. I know Ty and Dylan and everyone else is proud of him too. Everyone sticks pretty close together, and nobody was sad to see Casey Plager win. And so he is your 2025 D6 top dragster MVP.
Yeah, that was pretty cool to watch. Casey's a close friend, so it's cool to see your friends win, and especially getting that many wins and that points total. That's very impressive, Casey. Congrats. Top sportsman, keep it in the top fast brackets category. Brian War, he finished number 7 nationally, number 5 in the division, 2 wins and a runner-up. He closed out the year in Pomona with that win over Ed Olpen. Pretty good season for Brian, and there was just so many good contestants for this top sportsman MVP. It was hard to whittle it down to a few, so we're just going to go ahead and give David Cook Jr. He's our Division 7 champ back to back. He had 2 wins this year. He tied for second nationally, so that's 2 times in the he finished top 3 2 times in the last 2 years, so that's really impressive. And we didn't discuss this, but I'm going to go ahead and give David Cook Jr. the best appearing car of the year award, because that thing is just bad A.
It is, man. I'm a Chevy guy, but a fastback Mustang that's been turned into a race car is pretty tough to beat. And I'll agree, man, that that his car is definitely worthy of a best appearing. So congratulations to him. On the D6 side, Dan Lafferty nominee, Bill King. Bill had a strong start to the season and was looking like he might make a real run at the World Championship. Things started to peter out for him a little bit down the stretch, but he came out swinging really strong. And then Robert Strom, perennial hitter up here. Um, Not one of the fastest top sportsman cars by any means, but it's just fast enough. And Robert knows how to wheel that thing and turn on a lot of wind lights. But for me, it came down to Dan Lafferty's performance this year. He had 3 divisional wins. He had a national event win. He had no claims below 63 points, and he finishes number 3 in the world. In another real nice looking hot rod, Dan Lafferty lives just down the street from my parents. Is the 2025 D6 Top Sportsman MVP. Congrats to Dan Lafferty.
Way to go, Dynamite Dan. You want to take us through your comp list?
Yeah, I can do that. It's an easy thing to do in Division 6 because it's all chalk, and it was really Jeff Lane and everybody else. Melissa Murphy does get a nod from me as a nominee. Ryan Warder, too. He's one of only 2 drivers in Division 6 that picked up wins this year on the divisional trail. So Melissa Murphy and Ryan Warder nominees, but without question, the comp eliminator MVP in Division 6 is Jeff Lane. He was absolutely unbeatable. He was as good as you can possibly be. He posts a perfect score. He won 5 out of 6 of his events in Division 6. Won the national event at Seattle. What can you say, man? That Hancock and Lane team, Jeff and Cody, they're rock stars, man. And Jeff had it dialed up this year on the divisional side of things. Came up short for the world, but made a hell of a run at it. And certainly your comp eliminator MVP in D6 this year.
He definitely made it fun to watch the last 3 or 4 events of the season. It was very interesting to follow along, and just came up a little bit short, but we'll be rooting for him again next year.
Well, and I loved it, man, because he hopped out of his car. I'm pretty sure he was out of index, but he had someone else drive it, right? That car was still on the property. And then he hopped in Cody's Roadster, that still had some room left. And they ate up a bunch of that index too, the last couple races. But, did everything he could, took every swing he had. And like you say, he came up just short for the world. But that's an all-time performance in comp eliminator for Jeff Lane in D6 that won't soon be forgotten. So
absolutely not. Well, just like you, my comp nominees are pretty simple. We had Kevin Carter and Dean Carter finish 1 and 2, and I'm not exactly sure the relation. I'm pretty sure it's father and son. Kevin Carter came out as the Division 7 champ with 2 wins and 2 runner-ups. He finished top 10 in the nation, and Dean Carter, like I said, finished second. There is not a single MVP on this one. It is a family MVP award. The award goes to the Carter family. Just kicking butt in comp eliminator, and you can't get any better than that. Finish 1 and 2.
Nah, man. And there was a point in the season, I think both of them were in the top 5 or top 7 in the world, making a run at it. I love their cars. I love comp dragsters, man. They look so cool. They're always different, and the body work's just a little bit different. They just look a little different, and love those things. And those guys were super impressive to watch. We talked a little bit about them last week. They grind in the pits. They grind on the racetrack and in between every race. So well-deserved to the Carters. You made it a lot of fun to watch, guys. So thanks for that.
You want to move to the little lesser-known motorcycle category?
As a matter of fact, I do. I'm actually been really excited to talk a little bit about our MVP from D6. I've had the good fortune of befriending our former Division 6 director, Matt Lavonis, the last couple years. He's been a huge help. He's been kind of my partner in crime with the Summer Showdown. and through that, and through our experiences at the track together the last couple of years, have gotten to be good friends. And I knew about Lindsay. We're friends on Facebook. We kind of give each other thumbs up here and there, and I've seen her at the track the last couple of years. Um, but I didn't know Lindsay Miller's story. I brought that up a little bit earlier about how important the story is. This isn't all about your performance, especially when there's a story behind it. And Lindsay's got one. I don't want to skip over the other nominees. Cody Compton out of Madras. He didn't finish terribly high in the points, but he was the Division Six ET Finals champ, so he got it done when it mattered, and went down to Vegas and represented us valiantly. Dan Jones, and then Don DePeel, perennial sportsman motorcycle hitter. Don's turned on probably more win lights than just about everybody else combined in sportsman motorcycle. But Lindsay Miller just graduated high school. A couple of years ago, she was driving a junior dragster, and she's one of the most accomplished junior racers in the country. She has a picture that she used to have on Facebook of her junior dragster. You can't see it because it's all the trophies that are piled in front of it out on the track. I mean, it's incredible. She is one heck of a racer. She loves racing, and she wanted to continue her racing. But I think the same way my parents would have, I think they put a little bit of ownership on her to say, hey, you can do it, but this is on you and you got to do it. Well, if you want to drag race, you might look for the smallest barrier to entry, and it happens to be in sportsman motorcycle. So she hopped out of the junior dragster and she bought herself a bike, and she started racing that thing. It's a no bar bike, stretched out swing arm. She's the D6 division champ in only 6 events. She's super young, super talented, and super driven. Um, and it was basically her and everybody else. She was by far the class of the motorcycle field in anything she entered this year. She got a win down in Bakersfield at a race. She's won money events. I mean, she's just an absolute rock star. I believe this was her first year chasing Lucas Oil points. I can't guarantee that for sure. I didn't see her on the point totals for last year, but that doesn't mean she wasn't at a divisional, I suppose. So I don't know if this was in fact her rookie year, but I think it was. And just an incredible, incredible performance. Lindsay Miller is the 2025 D6 Sportsman Motorcycle MVP by a long ways.
I love hearing the stories. It's cool to hear that she just graduated high school and is that driven to succeed. And to continue on in the sport is another asset that I like to see.
Well, and, I'm in my 40s now, ridden a lot of motorcycles. I think every one of those fools is crazy. And, to hop out of high school, hop out of a junior, straight onto a stretch swing arm, no bark bike, and pin the throttle and dump the clutch and go banging through the gears and driving the stripe on 2 wheels. I mean, those guys are all fools, if you ask me. And so just a lot of guts, man, to come into a sector of the sport, of all the pieces of the sport that are so incredibly male dominated. That's one of them for sure. And typically folks are maybe a little rougher around the edges on the motorcycle side of things. And she's kind of elbowed her way in there and made her presence known, and took in her spot for sure. So super stoked to crown Lindsay our MVP for D6.
Way to go, Lindsay. All right, my picks are pretty simple. We have the People's Choice, Gary Stouffer. He got 1 win this year, finished 8th in Division 7. Gary's one of those guys who's just Karen's husband. I'm just kidding, Gary. But he helps a lot of these young motorcycle guys get on pro stock bikes, and that's where Gage came from. I believe he's helped Clayton Howie, which is also another nominee. Dan Schneider on here got 1 win, 2 semis, finished number 2 in Division 7. But our winner of the Motorcycle MVP award goes to Justin Wilson, our Division 7 champ. He got 2 wins, 1 runner-up, just pretty much cleaned up down here in Division 7. Justin one of those guys who you got to watch out for when you're racing a motorcycle. It's cool to see Justin moving on, and congrats again on your MVP.
100%, man. Good job to Karen's husband. Where are we going next?
Super stock.
Super stockers. Yeah, let's do it, man.
I'll go ahead and go on.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got Evan Kowalski. We talked about him a lot in Super Gas. So he's just on kill and in both of his cars. Finished number 9th in the world, number 2 in the division. Trey Vetter is really one that I really want to talk about. My guy raced 7 races, and he won 3 of them. So just under a 50% win rate, not round win, but race win rate. He finished 16th in the world with only 7 races, and he finished 9th in the division with only 4 races. So give that kid a full claim, and he's in contention for a championship. And then kind of undisputable, our Superstock MVP is Justin Lamb, world champ, division champ, all in the same day. Had to win the race to win the world, and he did just that. So Justin Lamb is your Superstock MVP.
Well deserved. Kind of knew where that one was going, but even with the amazing performance in season by Justin Lamb, right? Still other stories out there, still really impressive runs. Justin's probably going to wish he didn't help Trey so much here real soon, because Trey's coming for a championship. I can guarantee you that. So well-deserved nomination there. D6 side, Daryl Stobie gets a nod for me as a nominee. Jody Lang is always going to be, in the top up there. I got Casey Youngstrom as a nominee. He finished number 8. He only had 6 events. He did really well this year. He just didn't race as much as he probably could have to get higher up in the points. So Casey Youngstrom gets a nod for me. But Brad Burton is the MVP. He was absolutely dominant at Woodburn this past year. And at the Seattle divisional as well. He finishes number 5 in the world. That's a dude you don't ever want to line up against. I mean, we do, right? Because you want to race the best, but that's a tough out in any round, at any race, anywhere in the country. And Brad proved once again this year, while he's one of the best out there doing it right now. So I think for me it was an easy call. Had a real dominant run through the middle of the season, and Brad Burton, my 2025 Superstock MVP.
Way to go, Brad. You wanna follow it up with stock?
Man, we're going so fast, man. We're just ripping right through it. Show me another Banquet who can stay on time the way we are, man. We're doing good. Yeah, let's go to stock. This was tough for me, because I think some folks might think it's a foregone conclusion with Jody Lang. He had a really strong start to the season and he had 2 wins, but it was an otherwise pretty dismal D6 season for Jody. Look at Jody's divisional scorecard. That's not the kind of scorecard that Jody is going to celebrate. Brad Burton also in there. Will Kelly, he only had 1 claim, I think below 60. Everything else was really strong. But for me, man, it comes down to the story, right? A guy like Jody Lang or Brad Burton oftentimes, I think, are the victims of their own success, right? We come to expect great things from them, and anything less than that is a disappointment. I'm not disappointed in y'all, but I know how that goes, and that's what I'm saying. So for me, man, the MVP is Cal Method. He won at the Northwest Nationals. He runnered up at the Vegas Divisional in April. He went deep at the Seattle Divisional. This is a guy I've been doing it for 50 years, and still in his young 80s is getting it done and finding a way, and wrote the ending to a story at Seattle that he started 40 years before that with Joe Sorensen. so pretty. I think 27 years was the split between the two races between Cal and Joe, and so just I don't remember a more inspiring moment. I think for me, certainly not in that class all year, and to see what that meant to him, what that meant to his family, and what it meant to the fans and the other people there. I mean, there was not a person there who wasn't on cloud nine for Cal Method in Seattle. And like I said, that wasn't his only big swing this year, right? Runnered up in Vegas and went deep at the divisional again in Seattle. So for me, Cal Method gets the nod for the 2025 D6 Stock Eliminator MVP.
Cal Method will be haunting my brain, my mind, in my sleep for the rest of my life. He wore me out in Pomona. I was the
Wore
first
you
pair
out
down
blind squirrel style. Oh boy, just put it on you.
first pair down the track, first pair to the trailer. I'm done. Cal
Dunsky.
Method just threw one down on me.
Yep. No, he did. That he did, man.
I love Cal. He's a really good guy. His history in the sport is just second to none, and I love that he gets to do it with his daughter and his son-in-law, and definitely his wife. So we look forward
Ye-
to seeing Cal next year, and hopefully not getting so beat down on him.
yeah, it was so tough for me, man. Even now, as I say it, it's like, man, how do you not pick Jody, right? Like I said, I think his championship this year was like his 18th Division Six champion or something stupid like that. But also, it's like, well, that's your 18th. Like, meh, seen you do that a million times before. And like I said, I think a victim of his own success. Nobody's going to deny that Jody Lang is one of the best to ever do it. And I think anybody I named on the nominee list is deserving for sure, right? And Jody might have had a story this year that would have took it for me, but I don't know Jody personally, so I don't get to hear all the stories. So for me, it was Cal Method, but it was a nail biter for me, a hair splitter, and all deserving. So congrats to all four of those folks that I mentioned for amazing seasons this year. A lot of fun to watch.
Nice. All right, stock for me. There was a handful of people who should win this MVP award, and I did feel humbled that people casted their vote on me on the Facebook, and I appreciate that. But
Did you pick
I'm not
yourself?
I'm not going to give myself this award, and I don't think I deserved it anyway. But we had C.W. Hofer um, running the Firebird, finished 16th in the world, and he had car troubles, and to come back from those and still finish 16th in the world, number 3 in the division, and all that just proves that he's a phenomenal race car driver. Love seeing C-Dub out there, and I'm sure I'll see him this weekend in Old Trusty at the Thanksgiving race. Kyle Rizzoli turned family man. Loved seeing him with his kids, and he's got another one on the way. He's your Division 7 champ, finished 14th in the world, but he also didn't have a full claim because he was off doing family things, which I applaud you for that. That's awesome to do, and you definitely have your priorities straight there. But wins and championships aside, my MVP is also my performer of the year. That's another award we're going to be giving out. Um, he this guy has the most passion for the sport that I've ever seen. Gary Lucier attended 17 divisionals this year.
That car, man.
He drives a 1984 Dodge Daytona front wheel drive. He went to Indy this year. He raced in Beach Bend this year. He raced in Tulsa this year. He raced in Bakersfield this year. And he got a runner up in the Bakersfield double divisional. So, based off of passion, based off of his dedication to the sport, and just straight up love for drag racing, my most MVP stock eliminator and most deserving for performance of the year goes to Gary Lucier.
Well deserved, man. I kind of chuckle every time that car comes up to the line. I think he dials that thing like 14s or 16s or
It's
it's
like
something.
17s.
Yeah, it's something obnoxious.
Depends on if
And
there's a headwind or not.
man, there can be some matchups where there's somebody waiting 10, basically 10 seconds almost for that guy. And so it's always fun to watch because he just puts that thing on down there. And when you get a big split, it's a lot of fun because you wonder, are they gonna catch him? Are they gonna catch him? And um, no, that ain't no GT car, man. Bona fide front wheel driver. And it's cool to see somebody just living their best life like that, man.
One of the funnest things I've ever, heard. I was talking to him in the staging lanes one day, and, he's getting ready for first round, and he's talking to me who he's got, and I can't recall who he had, but he's like, "Man, I gotta really get up for this one," and I'm like, "Yeah, man, like, that's gonna be a tough one. You gotta be on your A game," and he was telling me how, he adjusts his reaction time, and, it's not anything mechanical, it's more scientific than that, and, he is a retired science teacher, so props to him for his methods. It's how many Dr. Peppers and cups of coffee he drinks, he can speed up his reaction time.
I was gonna say, man, you didn't get this poor brother tore down at his next race, letting secrets out like that. But they're gonna have to look now see if he's got any DPs in the car. That's funny, man.
Loose ballast.
That is funny, man. So, what's a Dr. Pepper worth?
I, didn't get that far down the line, but, I think it worked out for him that day.
I
However many
need to
Dr.
know. It's
Peppers he
like
had, it worked.
every Dr. Pepper's like a 5,000 shim on the button. That's funny, man. And that he's probably telling you the truth. Like he's probably convinced that that's what does it. I bet he has a regimen, and when he needs to kick it up, he probably slams a coffee and half a Dr. Pepper. Man, that is super funny. That little things like that, man, are what I love about this sport. All the little wives' tales and the different things that we all do. And I mentioned Brian McGinnis earlier in the year. If you're ever around and watch how he straps into his car and the places that he touches on the dash and the things, he does it every time. And it's like, if somehow he messed it up, I bet he'd lose the round because it'd throw him off so bad. It's funny to hear all the little things that people come up with. So that means it's time for my performance of the year, I suppose. I told you when we were sitting in the green room that I'm really, really struggling here. And it's because we had so many incredible performances, man. So many people pour their heart and soul into what they do, and because of that, right, when it pays off, it creates a story. It creates a moment in time that's special. It's the thing that we're all chasing, and even the folks who've had it hundreds of times, right? It's so special that you go chase it again the next year with the same kind of tenacity that you did in the years before. Multiple nominees for me. Cal Method at Seattle, just a super, super impressive, I think, and heartwarming performance. Brad Burton, that was just a pure assassin when he tripled up at Woodburn in stock and super stock. He almost, could have clean sweep that thing and walked away with 4 Wallies. He walked away with 3. Um, Ty Gaynor at Vegas. I thought his run in Top Dragster at Vegas was super, super impressive. Also, a kind of a family affair, right? Tommy was coming back from his final. They almost doubled up as a father son duo. Tommy's coming back on the return road as Ty's basically pulling under the arch at Vegas, has just enough time to get out and go talk to him real quick before he sends it down through there and grabs his first national event win. Daryl Stobie at Dallas. We had Daryl on earlier this year, and you'll recall it was an absolute disaster of a week for Daryl Stobie. He was getting kicked, and kicked all week long, and stayed with it, man. And so much resilience in the face of so much adversity. And I think for me, that's why I picked Daryl Stobie as the performance of the year in Dallas. A lot of people would have just put her in the trailer and headed home. It was just a disaster for him to start out. And him and his son, we talked to Alex. They turned that thing around. His son just got married So congrats to Alex. Your beautiful wife. Looked like a great picture. Looked like a great ceremony. So congrats to him. Congrats to you, Daryl. Um,
Yeah,
it
just
was it was impressive, man. It was inspiring. It was impressive, and getting to talk to you and hear about that moment, what it meant to you guys, just added to it for me. So Daryl Stobie, performance of the year in
definitely
D6.
definitely the most resilient story we've heard all season, and I'm glad we did get to share it on here.
Where we going now?
Man, we
Just a
got
couple left.
there is a couple left. Why don't we go track of the year?
You want me to
And
kick things off here?
go for it.
Yeah. So, there's quite a few Division 6 tracks. About half of them, though, Saturday points only. You're not going to see a divisional there. They're either not a big enough facility, 8th mile track. Some of them barely have enough pits for a Saturday points meet, let alone to try to run some kind of Lucas Oil race. I love tracks like that, Coos Bay, Madras, Bremerton, some really neat little tracks in D6. I think when it comes down to track of the year, you're always going to have Woodburn in the mix. You're always going to have Firebird Raceway in the mix. Woodburn this year got their 20th team ET Finals championship.
Wow.
The most in the country by, and it's not really close at all. Woodburn is the greatest ET Finals team in the history of the NHRA. Firebird Raceway is one of the most historic facilities anywhere in the country. And if you go there, it doesn't matter if you're there for Friday night grudge races or the Nightfire Nationals, you know that it's a special place to be. Kalispa, Spokane International Raceway, to many of us. Grew up going to watch the AHRA there. It's a long, historic facility that's hung on over the years. And now in their partnership with the Kalispel tribe, they're really, really turning that facility around. I've heard it's one of the nicest facilities in the country, nicest surfaces in the country anyway. The ET finals will be held there next year. I haven't been there since I was a kid watching Don Garlett's race there. I'm looking forward to maybe making the trip next year or making it up there for something. But I think they deserve a nod as a nominee for track of the year. But I'm gonna go with Mission Raceway Park this year. If you don't follow Mission on YouTube, you should. They live stream every Saturday bracket race there, so everyone's getting airtime. They're getting showtime. They do a great job with the live stream. It's a beautiful facility on the banks of the Fraser River. They hosted the D6 ET finals this year. Anybody I know that went up there had a heck of a good time. They rolled out the new best of the best race this year, where it was kind of like the true race of champions. It was only for number ones. If you finished number one in your class in Summit ET series, you got to race in this best of the best series to figure out who was number one. I thought that was really cool. They're really good at track prep. Obviously, Sean Kelly blew the top alcohol dragster world record off the map with a 5:11 up there this year, the fastest blown pass ever at Mission Raceway Park. So a lot of good things up there, a lot of really dedicated racers and racing family up there. So tip of the cap to Mission Raceway Park 2025 D6 track of the year.
I don't know if you've ever seen it. There's a YouTube video out there called 4 Days in May.
I have not.
The first stalker in the nines, and it kind of documents that thing up in a Mission, and that place is known for records, especially in stock eliminator, super stock. But if you haven't seen it, go
Check it
Google
out.
it after you watch this episode. 4 Days in May. Don't
4 days in May at
yeah,
MRP.
it is fun to watch. I'm just ate up with the stock eliminator stuff, so it really gets me excited to go stock eliminator racing every time I watch it, and it's
That's
been
awesome,
a
man.
handful of times.
I'm gonna watch it.
So all you have a lot of tracks up in Division 6 that aren't necessarily national event tracks, and down here in Division 7, almost all of our tracks are national event tracks, right? So it's hard to base it off of, oh, these guys have the nicest track, or they have the most pit space, or uh the physical things, right? Um, Vegas, obviously, big, huge track, nice track surface. Tucson, they have a lot of great bracket racers. They come up for the spring fling and the Thanksgiving race, and I love seeing them. Firebird, our Firebird, not yours. They won the Division 7 ET track champion or team championship, excuse me. And but but the track that I want to give it to, and it's kind of scary to think about losing it, is Pomona. They've done a lot with the facility lately, and with In and Out's backing, Lindsay Snyder, it just the feel of Pomona when you show up there, it's just like no other. Um, In and Out, I don't know if you saw this, but In and Out's like company Facebook page posted the winners of the finals, the sportsman categories, and to me that's just plain cool. Like Casey Plaisir got his face on In and Out's Facebook page, and that's kind of hard to believe, but it's just cool for sportsman drag racers to get the attention from In and Out and Pomona Drag Strip. Um, yeah, they're my MVPs, most valued track this year.
Well, that's a nice little consolation prize after what happened for the World Finals, and I agree. Anytime they're going to tip of the hat to the folks who are, for all intents and purposes at a national event, right, used as field filler. Uh, we don't think that about our sportsman classes, but from a TV standpoint and things like that, to be able to get that kind of recognition and get that kind of nod from a historic facility like that we know is super special, right? It's been the setting for the World Finals since '84, and been some pretty amazing moments there for those races. And for me, growing up in the Northwest, and still to this day, man, if there's anybody, I mean, even West Coasters will probably laugh at me here, but if you gave me the chance to win Indy or win the Winter Nationals, I want the Winter Nationals. I know how big Indy is, and I know how special and how important it is. It's nowhere near me, man. I have no connection to Indianapolis. The Winter Nationals are a thing that, like, I know people who go to that, right? And as spectators, we could have went to that regularly. It's and when I was growing up, man, that was the business to win the Winter Nationals. I haven't been so excited as I was when Jessica Bogacki won at the Winter Nationals a couple years back. It's just, to me, that race, it's my favorite race of the year. And if there was one national event, Wally, if I had to pick and I could only ever get one, the Winter Nationals at Pomona would be the one. So I respect your choice for track of the year with Pomona for sure.
Troy, I got some exciting news for you, and I'm sure you've seen it by now, but In and Out Burger Drag Strip in Pomona will be hosting a divisional in 2026. Now is the time to get a throttle stop on that Camaro of yours and come race down there.
It took a turn right there. I thought the announcement might be my debut with Theobald Motorsports at the divisional at Pomona. It was almost that, there's a really good chance, man, that thing's going to have a throttle stop and a delay box on it. So I don't know that that'll get me all the way to Pomona, but I suppose it gets me closer. So who knows what 2026 holds. I need to pick up a grade point or two to get into that one.
It's a
Up here
divisional.
first. I can just sign up, huh?
Yeah, you could just sign up.
Just sign up. Well, who knows? Maybe we'll do that. That'd be fun, man. If anybody wants to support your boy Troy in Oregon on his quest for glory at Pomona Super Street Divisional next year, holler at me. We'll work something out.
Let's get him a ride, guys.
Where to next?
Let's go Rookie of the Year.
Let's do it. Who goes first?
I'll go first on this.
All right.
There was, in my research, I found two rookies of the year in Division 7. We have Bailey Neighbor, a young gal, uh, fresh out of high school, athlete, and she just carrying on the family tradition of Dad Rob and Uncle Chad. Chad helps her tune that thing. Robert teaches her how to race it, and she got a semifinal in her second national event ever. That's very impressive. Had to do some driving at the Vegas Divisional earlier this year. From what I hear, broke some suspension stuff, did a 360 across the finish line, and kept that thing upright. So impressive driving job there. And we had Alan Taylor, not so young, maybe athletic in the past, not so sure. Definitely a good guy, Alan Taylor. He finished number 5 divisionally in his first year in Super Street. He got a runner-up at the Phoenix Divisional at the beginning of the year, and I'm going to go ahead and give my my Rookie of the Year to the elderly Alan Taylor.
Congratulations to Alan. We need to know now if you
Alan,
were athletic or not as a young warthog.
Alan, Alan's one of those guys. He spent a lot of years tuning his kids' junior dragsters, getting them in the sport, and continuing to teach them how to do it. And now he's just showing them how it's done.
That's
he
awesome.
spent so many years watching them, and now he gets to bring in some of his own glory.
That's awesome, man. Congrats, Alan. Rookie of the year for me, I threw Lindsay Miller on the nominee list because I'm pretty sure this was her first time chasing sportsman motorcycle points at the divisional level. Oh, now that's some athletic stuff right there. We had a place just like down the road from my high school in Payette, Idaho, called Stevens, and it was a bull ranch. And I had a lot of buddies who either wanted to ride bulls or wanted to be rodeo clowns. We used to go to that thing, and I remember talking so tough. I was like, I was gonna hop on one first thing. I was ready to go. I got there and saw them bad boys and saw the way that they were hucking around my bros. And I never got within 50 feet of one of those bulls. It takes a special kind of person to strap in and send it on a bull. So I'd say that counts.
I don't know if you've heard, but around here we have a rodeo, and they have what you call mutton busting, and it's where the kids ride the sheep, and that's a
Oh yeah.
little more my level. And I'm not a kid; I'm still hanging on there. I got the cowboy hat and I got the bolo tie, but that's probably about as cowboy as I get.
So I do know about mutton busting, and one of the earliest childhood memories that has stuck with me actually involves the sport of mutton busting. So I'm glad you brought it up because it's another time where I was raring to go. I got an old picture of me healing some calves. My family had a big ranch in Bruno, the Black family. Um, and I used to go help at the brandings. And I can heal a calf, boy. You give me a rope, and like I can heal them up and help get them down for the branding. And we went to the rodeo. I was young, man. I was super young, and I was primed up. I was ready to go. Um, and I was going to do some mutton busting. And this kid, two people in front of me, it was his turn to go. And they put him on, and he's instantly panic gripped in the wool. I mean, he's not letting go for nothing. They turn that thing loose, and it gets outside on the cushion of the rodeo grounds and drags that kid's face down the hog wire for like 300 feet, and he wouldn't let go. And it just skinned him. He was fine, but it was terrible in the moment. It was the most petrifying thing I've ever seen. The parents were going crazy. Everybody's going crazy. The kid's bleeding from his face, wouldn't let go. And I didn't get on. It scared the daylights out of me, and I elected not to enter my first mutton busting. And so rodeo, just maybe it was good omens. Like the two times where I thought I wanted to get into it, something really bad happened right in front of me, and I said no way, and I backed off. But yeah, that's there he is, all hat and no cattle. Um, so yeah, mutton busted, man. That's serious stuff. If you're a little kid, man, them sheep they'll get busy on you.
let's let's go ahead and move on to your rookie of the year.
Well, so I had Lindsay Miller on there. Jody put Martha in a car this year. I don't know how many win lights Martha turned on. She might have turned on one at least. So that was pretty cool. We can call Martha Lang a rookie for that. And then my winner, rookie of the year, comes out of Top Dragster, and it's Ty Gaynor. This guy was driving little cars not too long ago, right? I mean, he's got a lot of racing ahead of him, and I think a lot of strong racing ahead of him. He's a guy I think we'll talk to for many years to come, for as long as he's interested in drag racing. And knowing that his dad and mom, you know, Tommy and Megan, are also racers, I don't see him getting out of the seat anytime soon. He had a shot coming down the stretch, had some mechanical trouble, had to hop in a different car, and that didn't work out down the stretch. But just a really, really impressive performance by Ty. Picked up a couple wins in a car that, I mean, even people who've done a lot of laps, you throw them in a 610 dragster, and it's going to make him pucker up pretty good. And he handled that thing like a true pro all season long. Really excited to see where Ty Gaynor takes his racing career. I know that his family and his work ethic together will put him in the best position possible. So looking forward to seeing what he does. But I think a well-deserved rookie of the year goes to Ty Gaynor in D6 out of Top Dragster.
Yeah, it was definitely fun to watch Tyrone wheel that Top Dragster. It would be crazy to think if he didn't have mechanical troubles in Vegas, how much more, not that it wasn't interesting, how much more interesting Pomona could have been if Ty was there competing for that number one spot as well. So congrats,
Yep.
Ty, on your rookie of the year status.
I think we got one more category.
We have to finish up my super gas winner.
Oh, we do. Yeah. Did you get to what's the survey say?
The survey says Evan Kowalski is not your MVP, and Val Torres is your MVP of Super Gas in Division.
Valentino Torres. Congratulations.
It was a tough call. Val's definitely deserving. Evan's deserving, but the crowd spoke. They have decided that Val is the champ.
Well, and Evan picked up an honor earlier in the night. So spreading the love a little bit over there in D7. Certainly both of those guys deserved it. Evan wheeling in two different classes and kicking some ass this year. But Val, I mean, he almost back to backed it, man. So close. If it wouldn't have been for Evan, right? Because didn't Evan take him out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So an interesting way for that to finish, where they ended up having to meet up with each other. So, but well deserved for Val. Heck of a run this year.
Last category of the night. We have crew chief of the year. Let's
This
break
is a
it
tough
down.
one, man.
I'll let you go first on this one.
Well, for me, it's tough because, for one, I don't know even who some of these crew chiefs are, and a lot of times it's the guy driving the car, or the gal driving the car, right? At least for the most part. A lot of people in the sportsman classes, which is what makes it so cool. It's what makes it accessible to regular people. Is you don't have to have a crew chief. You can just wrench on the thing yourself, right? And that's what a lot of people do. For me, this again comes down to someone telling the story. And Casey Plaisir did a fine job of telling his story after being crowned the world champion. And so I got to give this. It's a co crew chief kind of thing between Aaron Steinke and Cooper Chun, and the way that they put Casey in the position to just let go of that button and do work in that dragster all year long. So for me, Aaron Steinke and Cooper Chun, your crew chiefs of the year, for their efforts in Top Dragster with Casey Plaisir. Pretty impressive. I know that Cooper, according to Casey, dialed every single round for him this year. And, I know Coop's been in that car before, I think at least a few times. So it's not like he doesn't know what it does and what it can do. but the kind of trust it takes as a driver, to lean on Aaron and Cooper like that, pretty cool. And the ultimate result, right? The one that you hope for, they were able to come together and get it done as a team. So super impressive, and that's why Steinke and Chun. That's kind of got a ring to it, man. I need a super stalker now that says Steinke and Chun on the door. We gotta add another car to the stable, boys.
Kind of law firm is this?
Yeah. You may be entitled to compensation.
Injured in a wreck? I'm pretty sure I've seen their billboard in Vegas. I love those picks for you.
How
Ken,
how bad's the screaming? How bad was that? Could you hear it pretty loud?
Might have to call up Chun and Stinky.
my 4-year-old is losing her ever loving mind downstairs, so I'm glad it doesn't come through too good.
Honestly, I don't think it bothers me one bit because I got a screaming Mimi in the other room and I'm just used to it now. So if anybody else is hearing it, I wasn't aware. Oh, here you go. Someone dying there?
Perfectly fine. Just doing 4-year-old things. Got a house full of girls, man, and they're causing a ruckus downstairs. So everything's fine. Don't call CPS. They're all good.
My crew chief of the year, I was thinking long and hard about this, but I think we just need to give a shout out to all of our friends, all of our spouses, and the drag racing community is one. We all help each other out. We all give each other advice on what we do. There's someone pulling you into the burnout box. There's the track officials helping you out there, and that's why I want to give a shout out to everybody who just pitches in and helps us out. Right, we can't do this thing alone. So shout out to all of those people that help each other out. But the winner of my crew chief of the year is Mr. Bill Weber. His son Chad wins the Super Comp World Championship, and all three of the Webers finished top 10 in Division 7. Bill and Chad, they build their engines. They build Evan Kowalski's Super Gas engine. They build a handful of competitors' engine out here on the West Coast, and that's why Bill Weber's getting my crew chief of the year. He's got his hand on a lot of people's engines, and they're all running great. And that's why he is crew chief of the year.
I think that's a great pick, man. Like you said, it takes a village, it takes an army to get it done. Whether it's help at the track, help with the car, help in your life, help at work. It's a grind. Whether you're chasing track championship points, a divisional title, or a world championship, there's so many moving parts and pieces, and so many things that have to fall into place. And if you don't have people supporting you along the way, like I said, whether they're helping you turn wrenches or keep your kids fed, it takes an army. So, congrats to Bill and the Weber family. Couple really strong years for the Webers, man.
Back to back world champ.
I dig it.
Well, that's it for our awards banquet section of the show. We did remember. One second, moving back. He also built JB Brown's engine. That Bill Weber's engines won the division championships in all 390 classes.
If that's not a testament, that'd be in my next Facebook ad on the billboard, on the next billboard down from Steinke and Chun on the freeway. Steinke and Chun injury lawyers would be Bill Weber's performance, and I'd be making sure people knew that you clean swept all the .90s, man. That's there's a lot of great engine builders and a lot of racers out there with a lot of different combinations from all over the place. That's pretty impressive, man, to be the one who powered all the champs.
And he built the Rookie of the Year's engine too. Just adding them up.
I might just have to send mine down south there, man, when I get her yanked out here.
Well, I'll get you the phone number for Sherway Engine and Machine.
That's awesome.
Well, like I was saying, that wraps up our Banquet side of the show. We do have the weekly MVP of the week, the greatest of all time of this week. And in my opinion, this is probably one of the funnest ones we've done yet. It's DeAndre Fitzgerald down at Streetcar Super Nationals in his 12-second, and this is eighth mile, 12-second, Hyundai Santa Fe won Super Pro. Going deep, baby. And he cleaned house, beat all those dragsters, all those door cars, anybody with the delay box who needs it. He says, I'm going to drive my Hyundai Santa Fe straight to the winner's circle in Super Pro. Not only did he do that, he went super deep in Pro.
Yeah, man. Super impressive. DeAndre Fitzgerald is also my MVP of the week. He's a young kid. Like this ain't some dude that's. I mean, he's a real bracket racer. I mean, he's done plenty of bracket racing before, but he's a young fella. And not that Streetcar Super Nationals is maybe necessarily full of the type of folks that you might see at the Spring Fling, but there's a lot of really good bracket racers there. And if you saw even 5 minutes of what was going on at the Streetcar Shit Show Nationals this year, I don't know how anybody stays locked in at all and gets through the day with any kind of focus. But DeAndre figured it out. And I don't remember what he had that thing dialed, 12 seconds or something.
70s.
Yeah. Wheeled the heck out of that thing and did a great job. Much to the dismay of plenty of folks online. I've been seeing a lot of people bagging on DeAndre. Why you'd ever want to diminish what a young fella like that accomplished, or to talk about holding numbers as if that makes it easier. You add a whole nother variable now, in a car that's maybe not that consistent. And if you hold it, you got to kill it. So that's a whole nother element to the game you've added by not dialing on us and just holding it to the wood. And he was able to execute that. And why anybody would want to diminish what DeAndre accomplished this weekend is beyond me. And it's rooted in bitterness and jealousy as far as I'm concerned. So congratulations, DeAndre. You get my vote too, man. Representing for the West Coast at Streetcar Super Nationals, MVP of the week.
I guess it's called the Streetcar Super Nationals for a reason, right?
In a real streetcar. Matter of fact, the one guy I saw that was being the loudest, his first complaint was that he wants it to be the real streetcars because he's tired of seeing all the pro mods and chassis cars. But his second complaint was that DeAndre is holding numbers and hitting the drop. So clearly there's no making that guy happy. Literally in a streetcar, bracket racing his life off and got it done. So shout out to DeAndre representing big time for the West Coast.
And yeah, we'll just wrap that up with DeAndre. But let's talk a little bit about the Streetcar Super Nationals show. I just want to hear. Let's have you tell everybody what you saw. I mean, the video's gone around Facebook. If you haven't seen it, you probably have already seen it. And
you had to have been in a hole
to you, but
and I think this is an event that's grown. It's grown beyond, I think, what's the current setup and crew and format is able to manage, right? Because I know I talked to some guys who were at Streetcar 15 and they had the time of their lives. They absolutely had a blast. They thought it was one of the coolest events they've ever been to. And so credit to the promoters who put that race on. I don't know them personally or who's really responsible for all the ins and outs of Streetcar Super Nationals, but it's a big event now, and a lot of people come. Big fast cars. You got pro mod teams coming out there. You've got people like DeAndre and Hyundais, and you got everybody in between running the triple index classes and all the different classes. So, shout out to those guys for building a successful event that people want to come to. But it appears, much like World Cup finals, that it's grown to the point that it's almost unmanageable in its current format. You have a ton of oil downs. You have a ton of folks who have never even raced that car before. That's where they're going to debut it. They've been building on this thing. They've been wrenching on this thing, and they're going to haul it out to Streetcar Super Nationals. And so because of that, a lot of unpredictability and not the smoothest program. Maybe and not all the promoter or the track's fault, right? You got people coming out there and untested equipment. A lot of it, um, people with not a lot of experience. I think we all saw Melvin Parker's episode. I've never seen Weston. I don't think so worked up, and Weston's not shy to get worked up on the starting line. Um, and I don't know, to be fair to Melvin, what was going on there. He's no spring chicken. That car, if you look up some pictures of that car, I mean, that's a big dual carb tunnel ram, big block. I mean, that car is no slouch if it's tuned up and turned loose. I don't know what kind of experience Melvin has as a racer. I know he's had some health issues in the past. I saw somebody suggest it could have been as simple as his steering wheel being turned a quarter of a turn and the yellow line being in the wrong spot, and not being able to figure out what the heck's going on because the yellow line's in the wrong spot and straight ain't straight no more. I don't know. I'm glad everybody's safe. And I'm glad nothing really bad happened. It certainly made for a lot of content and good conversation, good internet fodder, right? And I've been told they asked Melvin to leave for whatever reason. Um, just pretty incredible to watch. They gave that guy every chance, and he didn't put the thing on its lid. Took out a couple cones. So I guess if that's the worst that you do, I suppose that's all right. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if they make any big changes to that event, limit the classes, or do something, because it seems like over the last couple of years, it's become somewhat unwieldy. And I heard a lot of people saying they're not going back, and that's not what you want to be hearing right after your event is over. So hopefully they get that cleaned up. Don't want to lose any events out here on the West Coast. Certainly not one that's as inclusive as Streetcar Super Nationals. I think that's one of the cool things about it, is it's a really inclusive race. There's something for everybody there. But when you bring everybody, right, there's a lot of risk involved when everybody gets to come. So yeah, made good social media material, if nothing else.
Well, we'll hopefully get to talk about some Streetcar Super National stuff next year, and hopefully it's a little more positive than it was this year. We got the Thanksgiving race coming up. We got Thanksgiving coming up. I'm super grateful for the Thanksgiving race in Vegas. It's been going on for as long as I can remember, probably since before I was even born. And this has been an event where people gather and celebrate Thanksgiving together. There's always people having the dinner and gathering and just celebrating. But if you're willing and able and want to come race a little bit longer in Las Vegas, the weather's looking pretty good. It's looking like mid 60s. So that's pretty dang good weather for this time of year. Come join us. There's 4 5-granders in Super Pro. There's 4 3-granders in Pro, and I can't recall what Sportsman is, but bring your street car and be like DeAndre if you want to race some Super Pro in your street car.
I'd love to make it down for that sometime. It's got a long history out here on the West Coast, and I know people have a blast at that race. I think it's cool that they keep the purse and the entries at a manageable level. So, maximum participation. They could easily hold a couple 20-granders, and they'd probably sell it out and fill it up, right? But the entry fees would be 2 or 3 times as expensive, I'm sure. And you'd eliminate a lot of folks who would otherwise come. So I love the kind of small race, kind of family format of that kind of deal. 4 or 5-grander sounds like a heck of a lot of fun. And I'll be looking forward to it. I think they stream it every year. So I'll look for like Bang Shift or somebody to maybe put it out there. And I don't think I'll make it down, but if it's anywhere on the live stream, I'll be watching for sure. And we'll get right through the winter and be talking about Tucson, not too long. So really excited about that. Plenty of stuff that happens over the winter, plenty of stuff to talk about. We we up here at Woodburn just released our tentative major event schedule. To see my bracket race on the major event schedule was kind of cool, to see that the track considers that a major event. So looking forward to the third annual Summer Showdown, June 5th through the 7th. It's just been announced. So 5th, 6th, and 7th, we have 32 car shootouts on Friday, and twin 10K, 5Ks for Super Pro and Pro on Saturday and Sunday. We'll talk plenty more about that as we get closer, but super stoked to be able to try to grow that race a little bit more this year and bring another event to the West Coast where you can race for some real money against some of the best people in the country. So pretty cool stuff.
I'm really looking forward to that event this year, this upcoming year. Here's your warning. If you want in on those 32 car shootouts, you better get on the list as soon as it opens because they will be going fast.
They sell out quick. I think we sold out. No box in, I don't know, 28 hours or 32 hours or something last year. Top Bulb side had a couple stragglers for a few days. We will probably run an alternate list, but yeah, we limit to 32 cars. Get in there. We do early parking, the whole bit. It's and it's standalone. It's not the largest single payout of any big money race up here. Dylan and Brian Howe's family, Cascade Truck and Trailer Sales, puts on the 20K, which is the largest single payout, and it's a great race. But it's over top of the divisional, which is great because you got a lot of cars there, right? It makes a lot of sense logistically. The cool thing I think about the Summer Showdown is that it stands alone. There's nobody else there. It is all for the bracket racers, and it's all for the money, and it's all for you all weekend long. So it's the largest standalone bracket race in the Pacific Northwest. We paid out over $50,000 last year, and it was a lot of fun. So we'll have the live stream back in the house. We'll have plenty of prizes and giveaways all weekend like we did last year. It's going to be a lot of fun. And like I said, we'll talk plenty more about that as it gets closer. But we just announced the dates this week, so that was pretty neat.
Right on. Well, if you don't have anything else, we can close this thing up.
Yeah, man, let's let people get back to their lives. We went over the 1 hour mark. This was a ton of fun. We've been looking forward to this. We're just a little show. We're going to get probably 200 views total, and then it'll fade off into obscurity in the big world of the internet. But hopefully the stories, and the triumph that everyone shared in this year don't fade away. And that's why we want to do this. We have a ton of fun trying to shine a light on the West Coast. So appreciate everybody who's reached out. Appreciate everyone who's hanging out with us every week. If you haven't shared, please do so. Like, subscribe, all that business at Theobald Motorsports. We really, really appreciate you. And we'll be looking forward to seeing you next week with full bellies after Thanksgiving for the next episode of the most handsome podcast in all of drag racing, the Bracket Breakdown. It's been good to hang out with you tonight, Parker.
Yep, likewise. We look forward to talking to you guys next week, and have a fun, safe Thanksgiving weekend, and we'll see you later.